trip behind the scenes with future country rock blues kings and queens. Discover them first with Palm Bash TV. Palm Bash TV.
Well, hello there. It's Palm Bash TV time again. Thank you so much for joining us. Another great interview is on its way, but before we get into that, don't forget about the subscribe and bell buttons if you haven't done that already, and you'll always be notified of any new episodes. And also leave a comment on the comment section if you'd like. We'd love to hear from you there. And we have contact info in the description, and we also have it again at the closing credits at the end of this episode, so please stay tuned for that. From Grayson, Kentucky today, we have Dreydon Gordon. He's a very awesome artist, I think you're going to agree. And we'll be doing that in just a second, but first here's a quick word from the Caden Gordon Show. So don't go away, we'll be right back right after this.
The Caden Gordon Show, today's best country mix, is a 2-hour show playing independent and mainstream country music you know and love. Be sure to check it out at thecadengordonshow.com for more information on the show.
Okay, we're back, and with us from Grayson, Kentucky today, we have Dreydon Gordon. Thanks for joining us, Dreydon.
Thank you, Paul. Good to be on your show.
Yeah, it's glad to have you here. The first question I'd like to ask is everybody has their own story about how they got started in music, but I'm sure it's a simple one, but go ahead and tell me a little bit about it. Have you always wanted to be an artist? Did you fall into it later? I mean, tell us in your own words, though.
Sure enough. Well, like I said, thank you for having me on your show. Been looking forward to this for some time now. My story goes back to the age of 2, believe it or not. At the age of 2, I began dancing, clogging, which is an Appalachian kind of style of dance, and dancing on stage with one of my heroes, Melvin Goins, who was a bluegrass pioneer for many, many years. And so I started dancing on stage at 2, and that was really the first introduction to the stage. And then at 7, I began singing on stage. With the same gentleman and his group, but that was at the age of 7. I'm 20 now, so I guess if you really think about it, I've been in this business for almost 18 years now. Seems crazy to believe, but that's the way it is. At the age of 11, I began playing guitar and started singing and playing guitar together on stage, and that's what I've been trying to do ever since, I guess.
Well, that's quite a story. I'm glad you're doing what you're doing. Hopefully you'll have many more years ahead of you, Dreydon.
Thank you.
Well, what were some of the influences? I mean, I'm sure all the legends come to mind when it comes to the legends in music or country musicians or whatever. I mean, tell us some of your legends or inspirations.
Absolutely. Well, you know, the crazy thing in my mind is that I've been able to work with and stand beside so many of my heroes on stage, like Melvin Goins, like I just mentioned, as well as Dr. Ralph Stanley, Larry Sparks, Marty Rayburn, so many great artists that I have looked up to for my entire life, and even artists that I've heard my family talk about, or that they've respected and enjoyed their music. I've been able to meet or stand beside of on stage. Of course, a lot of the old Opry guys from years back down there in Nashville, as well as a lot of the other great bluegrass entertainers that have gone on before, have been big inspirations, like Bill Monroe and Flatt and Scruggs and some of those guys.
Yeah, those are definitely some great artists, like you mentioned, Bill Monroe and Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs, all of them. They were really awesome. And I can definitely see that in your sound, too.
Well, thank you.
Well, tell everybody about how we can find you. I mean, I'm sure you're on all streaming formats. Maybe you're on social media. Do you have an official website? I mean, tell everybody all about that.
Absolutely. I always like to start off by saying if I'm not on it, you don't need to be on it either. You can find me on all the social media platforms. That's the Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube. I'm sure I'm forgetting something there, but if there's a social media platform, I'm probably on it. Just type in Dreydon.official. That's all one thing there, and it should come up. Dreydon.official. So be sure and check that out. I'm also on all the streaming platforms. That's Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Music, iTunes, all that good stuff like it. Check that out. We're streaming worldwide everywhere. I don't know how it works, but it does work. And for some reason, it's there. And I'm mighty appreciative that they've got it on there. And so be sure and check that out. I've got a newer single out that came out back in the very first part of spring. and it's been doing very well on some of the streaming sites. It's called Snow on the Lilies. So we're really trying to promote that. We'd love for you to go check that out on any of the streaming platforms that you enjoy listening to music on. We'd love for you to check it out. Drop me a line. Let me know what you think about it.
Okay. Well, do you have an official website as well, like DreydonGordon.com or anything like that?
You know, I do have a website. It's called DreydonGordon.com, but that if you type that in, it only works about half the time for some reason. I don't know. There's a glitch or a hiccup somewhere in there, and we ain't been able to figure it out quite where it's at. But if you go to Google or whatever search engine you use and type in Dreydon Gordon, that website should come up there in the first couple of results.
Oh, okay. Well, check him out on all streaming platforms and social media sites, as you said. I know he would love you for that. And you just mentioned the song we're about to play for you guys out there. It's called Snow on the Lilies. Is there a story behind this song? Maybe you want to share that with us.
Well, there's a little bit of a story, not too much of one. I guess when it comes to sad and pitiful songs, I've always been a big fan of the sad ones. The sadder, the better it is. I don't know why. I'm not that depressed, but I just like them sad bluegrass and country songs. This is a song that I wrote about a year and a half ago now, on the drive home from my regular work, my 9 to 5, you know, taking some back roads, and it was the springtime, and the Easter lilies were in bloom, and by golly, it started to snow. By the time I got home, I had about half of the song wrote. And that's pretty much about the only story to it that there is.
Well, it sure sounds self-explanatory anyway. And well, it is a great song, and as I said, we'll play that in just a second. But Dreydon, we thank you so much for being on the show today. Come back anytime you want to plug something new for us.
Thank you, sir. Always a pleasure.
All right, and here it is, Snow on the Lilies by Dreydon Gordon, and it begins right now.
There's snow on the lilies, springtime is near. Winter's almost over, but you're not here. You went away last summer and left us all alone. There's snow on the lilies around our mountain home. So long without you, it seemed. Each night I'd lay down and see you in my dreams. But now you're with the angels, forevermore to sing. On the far banks of Jordan, let those hallelujahs ring. There's snow on the lilies, springtime is near. Winter's almost over, but you're not here. All alone. There's snow on the lilies around our mountain home. Children still cry, they just can't understand why mommy's not here to hold their precious hand. But what can I tell them, oh what can I do? Because late at night I'll still cry for you too. There's snow